Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy Vert here. Today we're going to be doing a video on Musa. I've been playing Musa for a little over 4 months now. I feel like I have a decent handle. I wouldn't say I'm the best Musa in the world, okay? Not by a long shot. But I think I know enough about the class now to drop an informational video, help you guys out with the grind, maybe speed it up a little bit, get a couple extra trash loot, maybe an earring if you're lucky. Today I'm going to show you guys the skill add-ons, the skill rotation, and the rotation at Star's End that I grind, as well as the elixirs, perfumes, etc. that I use. Without further ado, let's get it going.
Light it up.
Alright guys, so here are my add-ons. I use these both for PvE and PvP. So they're not min-maxed one way or the other, but I feel like it's a good overall skill add-on to have, and it'll save you a ton of memory fragments or real life dollars from swapping back and forth. So Stub Arrow, this is strictly for PvP. Dragon Bite, this is very important for PvE, and PvP is also good. But for the PvE, it's going to give you 20% crit rate for 9 seconds, and this is going to stack on top of your blind thrust crit buff, which we will talk about later in the combo section. It also gives 7% attack speed, which will help you combo and kill faster. Rising Storm already gives you a nice defensive buff by itself, but you can also have the add-on for plus 15 for 10 seconds and 10% attack speed for 5 seconds. These attack speeds do not stack, but as long as you're doing both of them, you'll get the better version of the buff. Over in Awakening, this is going to be your bread and butter crosscut right here. It's on a low cooldown, and it's going to give you 20 AP for monsters, so 20 PvE damage. It's also going to give 10% attack speed. Again, attack speed buffs don't stack. Then we have Crust Crusher. This is going to be, it has PvP attack on it, which is whatever, but the crit hit rate is nice. It'll refresh your crit buff. And then you have Projection, which again, this is mainly for PvP. If you do want to use it in PvE, it'll give you the accuracy, which is nice. Alright guys, so there's my skill add-ons, and next let's move on to the comboing. Alright, so the first part of the buffs that we're going to talk about, this is extremely important, and you should try to maintain these crit buffs at all time. But Blind Thrust Absolute is going to give you 30% crit rate for 10 seconds, and another way to activate that crit buff is through your Musa Spirit, which is going to give you 30% as well. Now these two buffs don't stack together, but these buffs stack with the Dragon Bite add-on that we picked up earlier. So if you have this or this plus the Dragon Bite 20% right here that we're getting from add-ons, that'll give you 50% crit rate for 9 seconds, and on top of your crystals, that'll give you almost 100% crit rate. So to get that up, we are going to start with Blind Thrust into Dragon Bite, and as you can see, we have both our 30% and our 20% crit rate buffs up at the same exact time. So this is what you're going to want to start a lot of your combos with. Now let's say you're grinding somewhere like Sakurai or Star's End, you don't have the AP to kill them within the first 9 seconds. Throughout killing the pack, you're going to want to maintain those buffs the best you can. Alright, so you did the first part, you got your crit buff up. Next, we're going to look to go into Rising Storm. Now, Absolute Rising Storm by itself gives you plus 20 DP for 20 seconds. And the add-ons from before, we have the plus 15 defense and the plus 10 attack speed. Now, in order to get those, you do have to land the ability on the mobs, which in PvE is no problem. So, it's going to look like this. And that's going to give you all 3 of those nice buffs. Alright, next up, now that we're done buffing with the pre-awakening, we are going to C-swap into awakening, and we're going to lead with the first skill, which is going to be right here, the flow. It's going to be slash dash. It's going to give minus 15 DP for 10 seconds on all of the mobs. So this is going to be an amazing debuff for the first 10 seconds. It's a relatively short cooldown at 8 seconds, so you can always have this up. You want to make sure you're paying attention to the mob's health bar to make sure you're keeping this DP debuff up all the time. So, just slash dash, really simple. Just have to hotkey it, and there you have you can see the DP debuff on the mob. It also puts an effect off if you're playing in remastered or higher settings. So that's going to do it for all the buffing and pre-buffing. Just make sure you keep the // DP debuff up on the mobs, as well as both of your crit buffs up. And then in between, you just want to take advantage, especially places like Star's End where you can knock down the mobs using the crystal mechanic. You want to make sure you abuse the down attack from Fiery Crevice, Crust Crusher, and also below the belt. Musa has really good side-to-side mobility, so you always want to try and get to the back of the mob before attacking it for the extra back attack damage as well. Because the back attack plus the crit attack is just going to give you so much more damage. Now, let's say you're clearing a pack, you run out of your big cooldowns, you got mobs that are, you know, they just have just a little bit of health, or maybe, you know, they're 25%. You could take Fiery Crevice, which is normally just F. And as you can see, it has kind of a long animation. It's kind of slow. And what you can do with that is you can actually hold Q, which is your block, and F at the same time. And that's going to give you this effect right here. You're going to do a lot of jumps. It's going to be faster with your attack speed buffs up. But even when that's on cooldown, it does do really good damage. So don't be afraid to get a little lazy and finish off a pack that way. Alright. Now, we're going to take everything I just taught you. Gonna show you it in action, and we're gonna head out to Star's End and do a little grinding. Alright guys, so in today's video I'm gonna show you guys how to grind a Star's End cliffside, or at least my rotation or my version of cliff. On your map, it's gonna be all the way down here in the southwest part of Star's End. I usually park my horse right up here next to the path, and then anywhere along here you can place your tent. Usually you don't aggro any of the mobs up here. So for this test guys, I'm running Exquisite Cron Meal. I got my Villa buff. I have the church buffs, just 3 AP, 5 accuracy, health, damage reduction. Nothing crazy. I'm going to be using my Alex Stone. Going to be using the item collection Increased Scroll Advanced. Going to use a Frenzy and a Spirit. And here we go. Alright guys, so we did the little 15-minute test. You can see we got 1307 trash loot. We were able to pick up 15 armor, 12 weapon. I believe we got some dust as well as a snowball. But 15 minutes, 1307 trash loot, I'd say that's pretty decent. I hope this video helped you guys out a lot. If you guys have any more questions as to what buffs I use, my pets, etc., I can put that in the next video. Or just let me know what you guys want to see outside of what we did today. Or if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe on your way out. And that's gonna do it for this video. I'm out. Peace.